There are nearly 300 different obstacles and decorations in Clash of Clans, and that number is rapidly increasing these days. With so many in the game, you may be wondering what are the rarest? Well, we don't have solid statistics for this. Unfortunately, a graph telling us how rare each of them is doesn't exist. That'd be too easy, right? However, taking into account their release date and how they were obtained can give us a general idea of how rare they are. So here are the most exclusive ones you can own.
Let's do this.
The Builder-based Glowy Lantern. It's a shame we don't have any numbers for most of these because I would love to know how many players actually held on to their glowy lanterns, but the best we could do is speculate. These glowy lanterns were spawning in January 2019 and every active player at the time got 2 of them. Now, 2019 special obstacles aren't generally considered rare, at least yet. They will one day. But for some odd reason, it seems like a lot of players either removed their glowy lanterns or weren't active at the time, which makes them a bit rare to come by. Which is a shame, because we never got another special obstacle in the builder base, at least as of yet. Dragon Statue. The dragon statue was only available through the Dragon Deal, a $10 bundle that appeared in October 2019, which included the dragon statue, 2 books, and 75,000 Dark Elixir. Now, again, 2019 is not that old, but at the time, this was the most expensive decoration yet. And believe me, players weren't flocking to go spend that amount of money on Clash of Clans just yet. Over the years, this dragon statue became rare and sort of a novelty, especially how it was the only 3x3 one for years. It was also the one decoration that players really wanted back, and they did bring it back for its 5th year anniversary in October 2024. However, it was only available through creator giveaways and it was only limited, which actually backfired because some creators ended up selling them for over $100 a pop, so they ruined it for everyone. The giveaways were shut down early. But hey, that's a whole other discussion for another day. It just goes to show how rare those dragon statues actually are. Spiky Cactus. This cute little fellow was spawning in villages in December 2018 during the global launch of Brawl Stars. Many don't consider any 2018 obstacles to be that rare, including this one. However, the spiky cactus seems to be rarer than normal at least, and there's not really a particular reason why. It seems to be the same case as the glowy lantern, where more players ended up removing it for some reason or another, or not active at the time. However, there is speculation that could possibly explain why it became sort of rare. The spiky cactus didn't seem to have the same spawn rate as other special obstacles, meaning some players only got 1. This may have led them to remove the first one in hopes that another one would spawn and then it never happened. I don't know, I'm not really sure. It's not that deep anyway. It's just a bit hard to come by these days. Battle Machine Statue. I really wish I knew how many players had this one as well, because barely any information even exists about it. I couldn't even find a video of anyone actually purchasing this. Builder-based decorations in general just flew under the radar for a lot of players, and the Battle Machine statue was definitely one of them. It was available in a $5 bundle in October 2018, and in the bundle it included some clock tower potions and some resources. It was actually the first exclusive statue in the builder base. It's probably not as rare as I think, but it's certainly not that common. Let me know if you have one of these. Snowman. The Snowman was available through an exclusive $5 bundle that contained 5 shovels with it in December 2018. The Snowman gets most of its rarity from simply being one of the first decorations that you could ever buy. Back then, there was this notion that decorations are useless, and I ain't buying that. And I mean, the same still holds true today, but this was long ago where I feel like less players were spending money on Clash of Clans. I mean, the gold pass didn't even exist. We weren't conditioned to it yet. After so many years, it's understandable why many regret skipping out on this one. It's pretty rare to spot one these days. However, you could also win one from those giveaways we mentioned earlier, those creator giveaways that backfired, but again, that was cut short and there was only a limited supply, so we don't actually know how many of these went out. Champion League Statue. Though it has been available to all players for several years now, the number of clans at Champions 1 is incredibly low even to this day. Less than 1% are actually in Champions League 1 every Clan Wars season, which is only a few hundred out of nearly a million that enter each month. And out of all of those clans, how many players are actually spending 2,000 medals on this decoration? Now, I'm not sure how rare this is compared to some of the previous decor that I mentioned, but I'm going to assume it's rare enough to be at this spot on the list. Again, it's been available for too many years at this point, but the fact that unlocking it and buying this is a huge milestone even today shows it's pretty rare. Now, technically, you could just hop into a clan that is in that league, but good luck with that. Builder Statue. The Builder Statue was available through an exclusive bundle for $5 that contained the actual statue and 500 gems during the 2017 anniversary. It was when the builder left the village for a few weeks, and when he returned, you could celebrate by buying the statue. Much like the snowman, its rarity comes from being a purchasable decoration from long ago. But this is the purchasable decoration, the one that started it all. Yes, the Builder Statue was the first purchasable decoration that you could keep. How many people bought it? I would love to know, but I don't think it's that much. Regardless of that number, the Builder Statue seems to be pretty rare, especially how it's never returned in any giveaway or anything like that. It's definitely one of the bigger flexes in this video. 2015 Special Obstacles. Yes, I thought I'd combine these two because they were released at the exact same time, so in theory they should be equally rare. Now, interestingly, we do have some numbers based on this graph. Now, do keep in mind this is incredibly outdated, so the numbers may certainly be lower, but it's estimated that about 1 million villages have the 2015 Christmas tree. One could assume about just as much have the Halloween cauldron. Now, 1 million players may seem like a lot of players, but it's estimated that the total base count is in the billions. So I'm not sure if I consider 1 million a lot compared to billions. These 2015 obstacles just keep getting rarer as time goes by. So if you have one of these, consider yourself lucky. Yellow presents. Technically, these yellow presents are not decorations or obstacles, they have more in common with tombstones, but because players keep them as decorations, I'm going to count them as one. And trust me, they are very rare. But where did they come from anyway? Well, they were obtainable in August 2017. There was a spell called the Birthday Boom that would drop these explosive presents, and after the explosion, it would leave presents that could be collected for a bit of elixir. However, you could not control if these presents ended up in your village in the first place. It was not your choice. It was up to someone else to attack you with the spell to give you the presents, and this was only possible within just 2 weeks. 2 weeks in August in 2017. And that was it. If it didn't happen, you were out of luck. But what makes them even more rare is that tapping on just one of them would make the entire thing vanish. What a beautiful day to clash. But really, that's why they're so rare. 2014 Special Obstacles. Again, I'm going to combine these because this was the first year they spawned together, so one could assume that they are equally rare. I didn't want to bloat the video with too many Halloween and Christmas entries anyway. Much like the 2015 tree, we have some outdated numbers that gives us an idea of just how rare these are, being in under 500,000 bases. And I'm going to assume that that number is closer to 400k or less these days, but I'm not sure. Either way, these things are rare and very hard to come by. I still get amazed when I randomly spot one of these out in the open when I'm attacking or visiting someone. Keeping something in your village for over a decade is impressive, and even so, how good they look. Creator Fountain. As the name implies, the Creator Fountain has to do with creators. It's exclusive to those who are in the Supercell Creator Program, and it was first available in April 2025. Now, technically, anyone can get this, and it will always be available. I believe. Don't quote me on that. So in theory, it will lose some of that rarity over time, right? But available to anyone is an oversimplification. What you actually need to achieve is to be a super creator and purchase the statue for 50,000 creator elixir, which is a currency used within the program. The tricky part is getting super creator status. It used to be that the requirements were about 50 or 100,000 followers on a platform. However, nowadays that process is way different. They hand select people. Basically, you have to be invited to be a super creator. Because of that, I'm not really sure how many of these are out there. It could be the rarest out of anything in this video, but I'm just going to leave it at this spot because it seems to be right. 2013 Christmas tree. Alright, things are getting ridiculously rare now. The 2013 Christmas tree was the only special obstacle that spawned in 2013, and years ago it was said that only 54,000 players had this tree. Again, due to the outdated nature of this graph, it could be much lower. You know, I actually knew a guy who had this tree, but they removed it when they were 15. Shocking. But this seems to be a pretty common occurrence. Players just didn't know how rare they would be one day. Some didn't even know that it wasn't gonna spawn back. So yeah, huge flex. 2014 Christmas tree presents. Not the 2014 tree, though it is rare, but I already talked about that one. The presents that spawned from it. The presents are much more rare than the tree itself. It's basically impossible to find someone who still has the 2014 tree with the original presents that it spawned with. And yes, these look similar to the ones that are dropped from the Santa surprise spells, which come around pretty often, but the ones from the tree are actually different presents in the game. They don't spawn or despawn the same way. The ones from the spell vanish all in one group, like tombstones, whereas the ones from the tree are all individual presents, and only the ones you tap will be collected. Because of this difference, it's allowed players to keep them for so long, and although we'll probably never know how many players still have them, it has to be a very low number. I'd be jealous, because my tree's been bald for as long as I can remember. I don't even remember if my tree had presents. It probably did. I don't know. It's been so long. 2012 Christmas tree. Yeah, I think everyone saw this coming, but the 2012 Christmas tree is, of course, the rarest of all trees. Referencing that graph one last time, just over 2,000 accounts have this tree, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's under 2K these days, but I can't be sure. This is the Christmas tree. It's become so iconic and a symbol of being a true OG, or at least a true OG that didn't happen to delete it. When players show off their complete set of a particular obstacle, it is rarely ever the Christmas ones because so little people have the complete set. So if you have one, you're lucky. You're sitting on true history there. Beta Stone. Ah yes, the rarest obstacle in Clash of Clans. I think everyone assumed this was number one anyway, so I'm sure you're not surprised. This stone was the original big stone. When you first create an account, you have rocks, right? And one of them is big. That is the replacement for this big stone. It was spawning in villages between June and August 2012 during its soft launch, but when the game went global, they decided to switch these two stones, which is why it's so rare. I mean, do you know anyone who was playing during this time? I don't. Maybe Simon Tay, although we never talked. But just how rare is it? A few years ago, someone went and looked for every stone in the game. I'm not gonna explain how he did it, it's very complicated, but he found that only 160 accounts had the stone. That is practically no one. Your chances of running into one of these on a base by accident are very low. Over the years, this stone has popped up as Easter eggs, for example in the high pressure and burning cessation goblin maps, in the super true playground, and for some reason during the boulder base tutorial. But yeah, to this day, nothing has come close to being as rare as this stone. But yeah, that is my list of the most rare obstacles and decorations in Clash of Clans. Like I said a couple times, I really wish there were some numbers for these so we can get a more accurate list, but this should be close enough. Of course, none of us know 100%. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed today's video, but before you leave, YouTube thinks you will enjoy this video on the screen. Are they correct? I'm not even sure what they're recommending to you, but why not check it out? You might like it. As always, see you guys in the next one. Peace!